Peace, peace. Welcome back to the space beyond infinity, where there are no limitations. I'm the spirit guide of this romantic, and I'm back with another um, creation video. I can't say preparation for creation anymore because I am no longer preparing for it. I am literally in the midst of creating. So I wanted to just come and do another video. I do not have my singing. I have my singing bowl, but I don't have the mallet to ring the singing bowl. So I can't start and end my videos with that. I have some nice cold water though. And I'm proud of myself because I just drunk this from the top to the bottom, and I have not been hydrating properly during this pregnancy at all, which is crazy, but I just not really feeling water like that. And I just got into a space where I'm like starting to get more into wanting cold water. So yeah. But anywho, I wanted to come on here and just make a quick video because I had some thoughts on my mind about preparing for labor. I noticed a lot of videos of like women who do a lot of exercises, they do a lot of movements, they do a lot of like stretches, and they do all of these things to prepare them for labor. And then once they are in active labor, they are doing all of these motions to help bring the baby down. And motion and movement is always a good idea to help bring baby down. But I just wanted to come and just share my experience with birth, right? Because I've had three children. My firstborn, which I still have yet, I don't know, I have to like go through the process of like observing someone else's experience of their first child to really get an understanding, because I feel like when you have your first child, that birth is always going to be longer than the other births. But I don't know. I just feel like it's something about that first birth that seems to go longer. But my first birth, I was in labor for about 13 to 14 to 15 hours. I went into labor at 3 a.m. and I had my son at 6:20 p.m. And so yeah, hours of labor. But both of my daughters, I went into labor around 8:30 and 9 o'clock a.m. and I had them at 2:20 and 2:22 p.m. So both of those labors were only 6 hours. And I did those labors. Those labors happened significantly quicker. Like half of the time of my first labor. And in those both of those labors, I didn't do a bunch of moving around. I think with Raji, I didn't get on my birthing ball at all. Like my pregnancy ball, I don't think I got on my pregnancy ball at all. I think I was like literally in I was in a bathtub for a little while, and I was in my bed most of the time. The majority of that labor, I was in my bed. I was not doing a bunch of moving around. I wasn't doing a bunch of stretching and motion. I wasn't doing any of that. And when I went into labor with Yajurda, I did maybe an hour on my ball in total. Um, yeah. And the rest of the time, I was just laying on the couch. I was laying on the couch and I fell asleep. And I woke back up, and once I got up, off of the couch because hubby was helping me go to the bathroom. I got up and my water broke, and I went to go try to use the bathroom, and I used it a little bit, but after I got up off that toilet, it was time to push. I mean, it was pretty much time to push while I was on the toilet. That's why I couldn't really use the bathroom the way I wanted to, because I felt it was time to push, but I was really trying to use the bathroom. Anywho, I didn't do much movement and stuff, and I feel like my comfort with labor is more my labor flow is more of a surrendering into the process. It's like allowing my body to do what it's meant to do naturally. And I feel like I do have to do some more researching, and I don't want to be all judgy and stuff, but just for me, I can't make sense of the doing the stretches, doing the movements. Uh, I can make sense of taking a walk. I can make sense of doing the stretches and the movements. Let me not. Just for me personally, I don't feel like it's actually necessary, in order to have a quicker birth. I feel like the biggest thing is the surrendering. And I feel like it's kind of harder to focus on surrendering when you're trying to focus on getting the movements and the motions down. I feel like your best friend during labor would be relaxation. Doing your best to surrender, doing your best to relax, breathe, allow your body to do what it needs to do. Like, yes, changing different positions is always beneficial. Um, but like I said, for me, especially in my last pregnancy, I just laid down. Like with Raji, I was sitting up. I was sitting up in my bed, and I was just sitting up with my pillows behind me, and I was just breathing. But with Yajurda, I laid down on the couch and I went to sleep. And I wasn't asleep for that long, but I did fall asleep. And with Raji, I fell asleep too. I fell asleep for a little while. I actually did. With Zakari, I fell asleep. I was like in and out of sleep. Like, I was like dozing off, and then a contraction would come, and I would wake up from a contraction, and then I was like, it was funny. Zakari, that's my first boy. That's my son. I was literally in the hospital bed, just like sleep, and then the contraction would come. I wake up and breathe through the contraction. With Raji, I took a quick little nap. I think um, when Boomy and Zakari, they left out of the house just to go grab a few things because we thought we had some time. And I think I might have dozed off then. Or it was when I was in the tub. Excuse me. It's been 4 years since then, so I'm fuzzy on the memories. But yeah, with Yajurda, I literally just laid on the couch and went to sleep. Legs wasn't propped up or cocked up on her or anything. I just laid on the couch and I breathed, and I just, like, I switched positions and things like that, of course. Like I said, I was on my ball. When I first got on the couch, I was just kind of propped up on the couch with my knees on the couch, and I was kind of laying on the back of the couch, and I was just breathing and rocking and stuff until I finally laid down. And like I said, my process was more so trying to flow through everything. But I'm a water sign, so that makes sense for me. But I do feel like, the more you allow your body to relax, the more you allow the process to happen. And I feel like that can get a little complicated when you're focused on doing a exercise, or when you're focused on trying to get down on the floor and do a certain stretch, or take a walk and walk the curb and all that. Like, I feel like the relaxing in your body gets lost in the I'm trying to use all of my mental capacity to focus on all of the things that I've worked on, that I've researched, that I've, you know, um, been told helps, or that I know help because I did it in my last pregnancy or birth or whatever. I just feel like the relaxing in your body gets lost when the mental focus goes into those things. Yeah. Um, yeah. But the biggest thing I feel like is the relaxation, finding relaxation, allowing your body to do what it naturally does. There's a video that I saw of this lady. She was like so amazed because she wasn't doing anything. She was just laying there and her baby just started sliding out. And she was like, I'm not even pushing. And the baby was just coming right on out. Coming right on out. If you've had a baby before, you know, like when it's time to push, you know, because your baby will start bearing down on you. Your baby will start pushing its way out. Your body will start naturally pushing on its own. You don't even have to push. And that's pretty much what's happening the entire time. It's just you feel it more because it's the opening. But that's pretty much what your body is doing the entire time, contracting, pushing, working the baby down. It's like and this is a funny reference. I hope you haven't seen my booty cheeks, but it's like, it's like pushing, the toothpaste out the tube. That's what these are. My fingers are the contractions, right? The toothpaste is the baby, and the tube is the body. And the contractions are just sliding the baby right on out. And um, so the more you relax and allow your body to naturally do its thing, I feel like the simpler the process becomes. And it's even harder to do that and focus on that once you've been drugged and um, you lose your feeling and your senses and your connection to the sacred act that is happening. Um, and that's, again, not me judging anyone in their process, because some mothers just need it, okay? And whatever process, because some mothers can go in thinking, okay, I am gonna have a hospital birth, but I'm gonna do it all natural, and I have a birth plan, and this and that and the third, and then it turns out to be something totally different than what you had planned, and that is okay. Okay, some women say, I'm gonna have a home birth, and then it turns into something totally different than what you had planned. You end up in the hospital having a C-section, and that is totally fine. Like, stuff happens, and you can't feel guilty about things not going the way that you feel planned, that you feel like they should. So I'm not holding anyone to any certain standard. I'm not even holding myself to any certain standard. I know what I desire. I know what I'm capable of, and I know what is for me. And I keep my focus there. But yeah, I just wanted to speak a little bit about how I felt about just the idea of coming up with a plan, or I just wanted to speak on how simple birth could be. If there is an option to make it as simple as possible. You don't have to make it complicated. You don't have to have a ABC 1, 2, 3 step plan. Especially if you're doing it at home. Especially if you're doing it unassisted and it's just you and your partner. It could just be simple. You could just go into labor and then be like, I'm just gonna sit here in my bed until this baby comes and do that. Like, do that. Yeah. It'd be as simple as that. Be like, oh, I'm in labor, I'm sitting here, I'm just gonna sit here in my bed. It doesn't have to be anything else. It could be whatever you want it to be. But you have to believe that it can be, or else it won't. Oh, it could be whatever you want it to be, but you have to believe it can be, or it won't. Because if you don't believe it, then it won't be. The power of your belief is what manifests what you desire into create and into reality. That is the reality that you create. When it comes to birth and labor, you are becoming one with the Creator. But I think I'm gonna just wrap it up here because I'm ready to go back upstairs to my bed. Um, I'll give y'all a shot of the bump. We are only 13 weeks, y'all. We are only 13 weeks. In 2 days, I will be 14 weeks. So in 2 days, I'll be 14 weeks. But we're only 13 weeks. This is the fourth baby, so I'm not surprised that I'm kind of big. Also, still, I'm like, is it twins? But it's not. I'm full. I am full. I am full right now. So, but this is what the bump looks like right now. I've eaten dinner. I've just drunk a whole bottle of water. Ooh, this is the bump. Ooh. We are so very excited. Everyone here is excited, especially the big brother and the big sisters. We are all so excited. These children manifested this child themselves. Even if I wasn't putting the energy out there to have another baby, I believe another baby would have manifested because of how much energy my children put into their desire for another sibling. Literally. Put that in the freezer so I can have some more water before I go to sleep. Ooh, 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 ooh. We don't have a singing bowl, but we still have sound vibrations. Ooh, we're gonna leave it there. All right, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful, wonderful, magical, amazing